Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS news for Thursday, July 20. Jamaica now ranks number 1 in the Caribbean region on the Global Cybersecurity Index. The ranking was revealed in a report from a 2016 survey produced by the International Telecommunication Union, ITU. Jamaica was among 134 member states which responded to questions based on the core areas of the ITU's Global Cybersecurity Agenda. Technology Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley has welcomed the positive, but says there is still a lot more work to be done. He says government, through the Cyber Incident Response Team, continues to strengthen the cybersecurity responsiveness while boosting its public education program. The minister says there is room for capacity building and cooperation between the public and private sector, but assures that government remains committed to meeting all international standards and best practices. The Jamaica Bauxite Institute, JBI, is to receive $223 million in budgetary support for the 2017-2018 financial year.
This figure of $223 million being requested represents 86% of the $259 million required for operating expenses and capital expenditure in 2017-18.
The disbursement to the JBI will come from a $715 million drawdown from the Capital Development Fund, which was approved by the House of Representatives on Tuesday. The largest portion of that amount, $487 million, will be used to reimburse the Jamaica Bauxite Mining Company for advanced payments it made to Glencore AG on behalf of the government.
Cabinet, by way of decision dated May 20, 2013, approved the repayment of obligations to Glencore of United States $33.8 million plus interest through authorized withdrawal orders from the CDF, and a one-off payment by the Jamaica Bauxite Mining of $4 million US.
The Capital Development Fund is comprised of proceeds from the bauxite production levy. The tourism sector has recorded a 14.9% increase in stopover arrivals for the first 2 weeks of July when compared to the same period last year.
July is trending to be a whopper. And at 14.9 halfway through, and some fests this weekend, and a number of other events leading up to Jamaica 55, the Diaspora Conference, you could very well see that July is going to take you closer to 20%, and that would be phenomenal.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett was addressing yesterday's post-cabinet press briefing. He says that even if 20% was not achieved for the first 4 months of the fiscal year, the final figure would still be phenomenal.
April, we grew by 10%, a little over 10%. May, we grew by 8.7%. June just finished, we grew by 10.8%. And this July, we are definitely in double digits and will be growing in excess of that. So that for the 4 months, we'll be averaging over 10% growth.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says work will start soon to improve critical areas at the Port Antonio Hospital and Buff Bay District Health Center. During a recent tour of the facilities, the minister said instruction had already been given to the Regional Health Authority to do the necessary pre-construction work for a post-surgery recovery area at the Port Antonio Hospital. The diagnostics capabilities at the hospital is also to be enhanced.
For all cases, more often than not, trauma as well as lifestyle-related diseases require some diagnostics as part of the assessment of the case for appropriate treatment. The diagnostic area requires some upgrading, and so one of the things I'm going to be doing is looking at how we can enhance the diagnostic area.
Minister Tufton says resources have already been made available through the Chase Fund for a new piece of diagnostic equipment. Refurbishing is underway on a diagnostic room that will house the equipment, while the ambulance service and road to the facility are also receiving attention. The Buff Bay Community Hospital will also be upgraded to provide extended primary and some secondary care services,
which will provide services which include maternity care, pharmacy, lab, dental, and so on.
Work will also be done on the perimeter fence and derelict buildings that are to be removed. Government is welcoming new investment in the fresh produce market through the Caribbean Broilers Group, which has launched its new company, Imagination Farms.
I believe that it is through planning and preparation that you're really going to experience the results that you seek. What we are witnessing here tonight has not taken place just over a year or two. It has been planned carefully over the years.
The Minister of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries says more science needs to be included in agriculture so that more investors can be encouraged to be a part of the sector.
We had a hard time convincing people that agriculture was a very lucrative industry and sector. Today, it's made a lot easier because of the imperatives of knowing that we must produce enough for our requirements and more in order to export what we produce and earn foreign exchange.
Imagination Farms' line of onions, sweet corn and Scotch bonnet peppers is expected to be in supermarkets by August 2017. And finally, following its Caribbean Market Mission initiative to boost regional export, Jamaica's Trade and Investment Promotions Agency, JAMPRO, is this week hosting a trade mission out of Cuba. The Cuban delegation, representing 10 organizations, has been on the island since Monday and will continue business meetings until Friday. The trade mission is a result of JAMPRO's Cuban Market Development Program. It includes representatives from Cuban state agencies such as the National Bank of Cuba, the Ministry of Foreign Trade and Investment, and Ministry of Domestic Trade, as well as the Chamber of Commerce of Cuba and other key enterprises. During the discussions, Jamaican companies are being promoted for an opportunity to export their products to Cuba. The Cuban representatives are also touring Jamaican companies to understand the country's capacity for manufacturing and ability to meet the demand of the Cuban market, which has a population of 11 million. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.